We are so very grateful for everyone taking the time out of their day to give us a quick listen, along with a show of support. You can find our full talks on Spotify, YouTube, and any of our quick clips and community chats on Facebook, Instagram, and we're even on TikTok. But you know what the real thing is? You should probably go and do your dishes. Okay, we're back. We're at a park. We do have children here with us. They're outside of the frame and they will be coming in and out. Welcome. I'm Medina.
I'm Melissa.
This is the black and the white of it. And today we're going to talk about why. Did you think about why you wanted kids before you had them? Have you thought about why you wanted kids? Silence. I can tell you right now is I did not think of why I wanted children, but I knew that if I had children, how I would be parenting them and how I would be involved in with them and what I would be changing from my childhood. But I never thought about the why. Like, why are you having a child? What is the purpose of this child that you are bringing into this world? Crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about that.
I
Anyways,
can tell
back
you
to
my why.
punishment.
No. Apparently, it's easier to talk about beating your kids than the why of
now
our
they're
kids.
here, so now I need to deal with them.
Well,
No, I'm joking. I've always, from the time that I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a mom. You know how some women are
okay,
like,
but why?
I dream about
I'm
my
not
wedding.
letting go of this question.
Okay, getting there. I never dreamed about a wedding, but I always dreamed about being a mom. So, but why did I
That's
want
a
to
big
have
one,
kids?
eh?
It is.
Can I tell you my why?
Yeah, please do.
Because I want, and I know this is a big thing being thrown around, generational, this word. I want the generational healing to continue.
Oh.
Because for every generation, something is fixed, right? So, like, my upbringing was not shiny or anything to boast about, but I gained a lot from it.
Yeah.
I gained a lot of resilience. I gained a lot of resourcefulness. I gained a lot of like hard-headedness. It tested a lot of my qualities that I now hone in on and I carry with me, and I hope to pass on to my daughters while removing any of those, I'm going to call them impurities because that's what they are. They're impurities. Okay? We're doing away with them, and I hope that my girls carry it forth and that when they have children that they are further getting those impurities out of it. So whatever I mess on, I hope that they carry on and they do better so that when I'm dead and gone and I'm a little spirit flowing around and watching all of you, because I'm watching you, all of you,
Not to sound
I
creepy.
want to be able to like look and be like, and have that pride and be like, yeah, man, I did my part to furthering the betterment of my family, of my line, of my generational line. That's my why.
I like that.
Has it ever crossed your mind that maybe that's what you're doing?
No.
No.
But now that you say it,
does that make you
like
feel
it.
good? Like to think about that now and be like, oh shit, I never realized that that's what I'm doing. Are there some things from your childhood that you are doing away with and you are not carrying on? You don't have to be specific with them because I know your family watches, but are there some stuff? There are some stuff that you're like, that's never going to make it into my rearing of my children?
Yeah, a couple things, but I don't think they're as impactful as the things that...
That's silly. It's always impactful. If you are removing it, you've already deemed it enough to be not passed on. Just to give yourself some credit.
True. No, I don't. No, I'm not trying to take away any credit anywhere. I think it's just that, like, it's not as... Okay.
It is.
You're right.
It's always big.
I think for me...
Oh, I can see why you can think it's not such a big deal. So here's the thing.
Because it wasn't something that was necessarily, like, detrimental to me. But I don't want it there for my kids.
Okay, so hear me out on this, and this is just in the moment, so take with this as you may.
With a grain of salt.
With a grain of salt. So the reason why you would think it's not such a big deal is because in your generational line, the work has already been started, maybe way before my family had started it. So if you're at the point in your generational line where you think it's not a big deal, whereas maybe my family's a little further behind in that generational kind of, getting away from. So for me, yes, it might seem like it's more impactful for you.
You know what I think is happening? I think I'm looking at the discussions that we've had and your upbringing next to my upbringing. Like I'm comparing.
You're comparing.
Them.
Okay.
And what I am trying to change to what you're trying to change is apples to oranges.
Which I think is silly because
in
it's
my
not.
Opinion.
I just think that.
Yeah, if I'm looking at just myself, I shouldn't be feeling that.
I would love to have, so what you're saying, I would love to have my girls be at your position. Sitting at a bench with her friend with a camera in front of her being like, it's not such a big deal what I'm doing, without realizing what it took for her to be able to get to there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I would absolutely love that. So that's my why.
Yeah, and that's where you're going.
Yeah, and that's my why as to I have my kids now.
So, but you said you didn't think about that before you had
I
them?
never was the one growing up saying I'd have kids. I will 100% say that. I was the one that was like, I'm never having kids. I don't want kids. I don't like kids. Yeah. 100%. And then
her daughter's here looking at her like, what? What do you mean?
And she just took my purse. She's like,
that's how she
fine.
feels about that.
You don't want me? I'm going to take all your money. There's nothing in there. Enjoy. But no, I never planned to have kids. I never planned to get married. Like, it just kind of all came into play. And then.
See, and you're married and have kids.
I am.
I never thought about getting married, but I always knew I wanted to have kids. And here we are.
One of us
unmarried,
wanted to have
kids.
Yeah. No, I never dreamed about a wedding. I didn't, but that came from a place of I never thought I was deserving of. Like, I never thought that somebody would ever want to marry me.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I was a pain in the ass, and I was a little too much ego for what I should have been. And then, yeah. So I got married, and then we never thought about having kids. There wasn't any discussion of it. I actually asked my husband like a month ago, I'm like, did you think I'd be a good mom? And he said, yeah.
Aww.
And I was like, really? I was like, really? I'm like, even when I was like, I don't want kids? And he's like, yeah, no, I knew that you would be a good mom. Like, I knew you would be. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay. But yeah.
But you didn't think that you would be a good mom?
Or
you just never thought about it?
No, I was selfish. I didn't want to give up what I already had going on, which was all for me, 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 me. And it scared me knowing that, and being brought up with someone that may have been of the same mindset, and they went on to have children and didn't lose that mindset. So it was a fear.
Okay.
So when I did end up having my first, it was like a very like, okay, I have a child now. I need to do away with that. So now I'm going to place my selfishness into this child. And then when I had my second, it was the same thing. So my selfishness, I bring out in my children.
Okay.
Which is why they're always dressed better than me. They eat better than me. They have a wonderful life better than me. And that is where my selfishness has transferred. But that was a very conscious thing that I had to do. I had to be okay with that and consciously hand that over.
Do you think the fact that you never wanted to have kids forced you to think about why you wanted to have them when the time came?
Well, definitely. Because like once I found out I was pregnant, I was just kind of like, wait a minute. Why am I doing this? And then it was just kind of like, okay, if we're going to do this, X, Y, and Z.
I think you're a little too late.
Yeah, if by that time it was happening. But like I wanted to,
you needed to know your why in order to,
like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, you think that was important.
Yeah.
For you to understand your why?
Yeah. So it was taking a look at that and then following through.
Because I think because I knew I always wanted to be a mom and have kids, I don't think that I ever thought, why do I want to have kids? I just knew I wanted to have kids, and I knew I was going to be a mom. So I don't think that I ever thought, well, why do I want to have kids? And then
Do you
once
think
I
it's
got pregnant, I
important?
was just like, yes, it's finally happened. Well, that's not actually how it went at all. I was terrified every step of the way that something was going to go wrong. But
Okay, so then now it has me thinking and wondering, like, because you just kind of went into it with like it's happening, I'm here, I've arrived,
yeah,
without any kind of like mental groundwork being done before. When he was put into your arms, like, were you just like, holy, what am I gonna do? What the hell is next? Like, did you feel a
no,
little more ungrounded because you hadn't like sat and analyzed and planned and
no. Well, first of all, I don't think my brain works like that,
fair enough.
like yours does. But no, because I think that I knew what kind of mom I wanted to be from a young age. I knew how I wanted to parent my kids. And then when I met Troy and we got to the stage of our relationship where we were like, oh, we're gonna, you are it. You are the chosen one. We had lots of conversations about,
That was gross.
listen, women choose who they want their kids' dad to be. Well, I did
Oh,
anyways.
100%. 100%.
So yeah, he was the chosen one. He was,
Oh, okay. All right.
you have good genes and you are a good person. You are a good dad. Anyways, whatever.
My kid's dad needed to be tall. Check.
That was what was
I
important.
got 6'7" of it, so.
Okay. Anyways, we had lots of conversations about how we saw raising kids going. So what that meant in terms of like our dynamic at home and what that meant in terms of the active roles that we play in their lives and so on, so on, so on. So I guess those conversations were had, just I guess not internally by
So you really
myself.
didn't think about the why? That's never been like a thing, eh?
No, and that's why I'm so stumped right now because I've never thought, why do I want to have kids?
Have
I
you guys
think
ever
now-
thought about why you wanted to have kids?
Yeah.
Am I just not normal? I mean, I know I'm not normal, but like, really?
Yeah, and I'm curious to know if you did think about it.
What did you come up with?
before having kids, what did you come up with? And if you didn't, and now you're
How
sitting
you
here like
doing?
me.
How are you doing in this moment?
Yeah,
Oh.
what's up?
I need to ask my husband as well if he knew why he wanted to have kids. I know that he had like even when I became pregnant with Esme, I can specifically remember him saying like, I'm not going to be one of those fathers that are never around my kids. And he's like followed through on that. He's like, I need to be active. I want to be part of the big things. And that's something that he for himself has fulfilled. And we try our best to honor it. But I don't think I've ever asked him his why. Why do you want to have kids? Actually, I know what he's going to say. For a basketball team. That's
Well, you're a few players short, so maybe you need to have a couple more.
No. No.
I'm here for it.
No. It's not going to happen. But yeah.
It's a very interesting question.
I wonder if our parents thought about the whys.
It's a tough one too. Yeah, because we were in very different situations, whereas you were, I'm never gonna have kids, I'm never gonna get married,
Yep.
I'm not gonna be a mom, and I've always thought about that. So
I just wanted to be the cool aunt. I loved going around my nephews and my nieces and hanging out with them and teaching them bad things because it was my brothers and my sisters and they used to discipline me as well. And I was like, I'll get you back. So I would teach their kids shit.
I mean, you can still be
This
the
is
cool
my
aunt.
confession. But now the ones that I did like spend a lot of time with growing up, my nieces and my nephews, like they can come to me and they can talk to me and there's some shit that I know that their parents will never know and haha.
She got you back again.
That's what you get. So it's interesting. It's
I think
interesting.
too, for me, when I look at my childhood, I had a very good childhood, and I think now that I'm thinking about it, that would probably be part of my why. I want to
recreate that.
not recreate, but because I don't want to do the exact same things that my parents did, but I want to create a good childhood for my kids. Is that the reason why I had kids? No. To create a good childhood for them? No. And
Do you
I
have a
think,
reason?
too,
Do
I
you have a
wanna
reason
leave-
now?
No, you've given me 5 minutes. I think too, when I look at, I don't want to say the world's in a whole, but for lack of better words, the world as a whole. I want to raise good people to be in the world. Maybe that's part of my why.
But why?
Because the world needs good people. More good people. Why?
Yeah, why? Like, I hope, yeah, that's my why. I hope that my kids carry on and they continue to better our family lineage.
So there you go, and by doing that, you're bettering the world as a whole. Maybe not the world, but there's.
I think I'm just trying to force you to think about why you had
Community.
kids instead of I was meant to be a mom.
I know, and I'm trying, but it's, it's not coming up with anything.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. I would love to hear why. I think we're just dragging this out now because we've hit a wall, and I'm actually genuinely curious. Have you thought about why?
And be honest,
Yeah.
because I am. I never thought about why.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, as always. Join us on the next one.
Bye.